Hello guys, today we're going to be doing a video on Tiny Tina's Wonderland using the RTX 3060 Ti. We're running a Ryzen 3700X with 32GB of RAM running at 3200 MHz. Alright, let's jump into the settings. We're going to be starting it off with 1080p on the high preset. And here are the settings. Make sure that motion blur is off. And we don't want any extra sharpening. Alright. Let's get going like a dream right now. 150, 130.
You're the fate maker.
And this game doesn't have DLSS, I believe, as well. So hopefully we can run the game at 4K. Kind of worried that we can't since wow, we actually fallen to 100 FPS out in the open.
You're not the only new arrival. A massive skeleton army is sieging the city. Catapults, Scallymans,
86 FPS.
Skelly ships.
What is going on? This.
There's bombs raining down.
A very intensive scene, I guess. I will be running the in-game benchmarks as well, because it all depends on the area that you're playing in and all the conditions of what's happening on your screen. So it's kind of tough to get a consistent test going. So that's why I'm going to be showing the in-game benchmarks. And it's kind of hard because the mouse sensitivity is so high. No, I'm not going to turn it down. Alright, frame rate dropped about 12 from 1080p. Which is not too bad, to be honest. I was expecting a bigger drop from jumping to 440p. I still haven't leveled up my character. I'm still technically a level 1, I guess, with skill points, I guess. Wish I could go back and check out the opening area again, but we had that pretty insane drop. Because I feel like we're going to fall into the 60s. Explosion effect brought us down to 74, which is our lowest that we've seen. The setting in this game is bugged, so I'm going to actually use a resolution scale at 150, which is 4K. And let's see. Oh boy, 40 FPS. Feeling kind of rough to play now.
Glad I'm not the only one giving these phony pricks a hard time.
Of course, fellow
Yeah.
I was under the impression most paladins spoke with gravitas.
If you go outside,
Do I bloody look like I've got time for manners lessons? I'm up to my codfish
oh, that's a
and I'm
dude.
dead.
Okay, 48 FPS.
Nowhere.
We are
Halden
dealing
Mike.
with none other than the
46
Dragon Lord
FPS. Okay,
himself.
it's at least consistent, you know.
Born witness to his
The outside we get 45 FPS, and then once we walk into the indoor area we get
With him later.
47,
Right now,
48,
we have to break this siege.
which is still not good. Ooh, we're getting pretty bad FPS, drop into the 30s now.
Good luck, citizen.
This area I guess is more intensive since there's enemies around now. There's particles flying everywhere.
Conquered anything. After a few
But
centuries,
the other
you
open area didn't really have this kind of an effect. We were still sitting at 45 FPS, so again, it all depends on the area that you're playing the game at. The aiming feels really bad at 40 FPS. Feels like max acceleration pretty much when I aim. It feels like I'm sliding past the enemies when I'm supposed to be on top of them. Probably want to play the game at low settings or medium. And again, the art style doesn't get affected too much. It's just all the effects and the particles that will get reduced. And I guess we'll see in the benchmark how we can run the game at 4K. I'm sure we can run it. And here are the settings. We're going to keep that off like before. And no sharpening as well, thank you. I'm going to spend a little bit more time at 1080p now since we're playing on ultra settings. And we want to see what FPS range we get. But so far, whoa. So yeah, at least we're not having the same issues as Borderlands 3 at launch, where the game was having heaps of stuttering issues, and I mean even on consoles it was freezing up. So this is actually a pretty smooth experience. I'm not really complaining about this. The frame rates are kind of low. I was expecting a little bit more from a 3060 Ti, because remember this is basically the same power as a 2060 Super. And where are we going? Yeah. Okay, it seems to be averaging out at 95 FPS. More intensive areas will fall into the 80s. Haven't seen it fall into the 70s yet, which is a good thing, I guess. But whoa! What I want to do is I'm going to place this in melee it. Let's go ahead and bump it up to 1440p. Once Alright. Let's fix this though. Ah, get up there. Okay.
Here I come.
That's fun.
Those catapults take
Okay,
hundreds of
1440p.
goblin hours to construct. I'm out here creating
70
jobs, you know.
FPS. Yeah, 20 FPS diff. So we're gonna be falling into the 60s for sure at this at 1440p Ultra. Which is kind of a shame. No, it doesn't have DLSS. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if Borderlands 3 had DLSS. I can't remember. But I mean, every game, any new game that's coming out should at least have FSR or DLSS. Just to give people a chance to try to get a free FPS boost if they need it. I can't remember too well, but I don't think Borderlands 3 runs at 70-ish FPS at 1440p Ultra. I think Borderlands 3 is definitely easy to run. So I would imagine in a couple patches they will optimize the game out, and you'll be getting you'll be getting better performance out of the game than you are right now at launch. Wish the objective markers were a bit more clear. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Gotta go this way. 42 FPS, huh? This is not. The aiming feels so rough, so rough. The graphics look really nice and really sharp and crisp, but this aiming is. Now what's weird is that I believe at 4K high we're getting 40-ish FPS all the way in the low 40s to mid 40s, and at 4K Ultra we still are sitting in the low 40s to mid 40s, which is kind of interesting. Obviously our location has changed, so that will definitely play a factor into it, but still I was expecting a bigger dip into the 30s or something, but nope, we're holding a stable 40. Okay, I think we can jump into the in-game benchmarks now. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you found it useful. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like and a subscription will be highly appreciated. See you next time.